Hello, everyone. How's it going? Hello, Futo. How you doing? Let's see. Let me get my my thing running here. Where is it? There we go. So, welcome on in. It's time for more Great Ace Attorney, because as we all know, I am great. I am not an attorney. You should not take anything I say as actual legal advice, but, I don't know where I was going with this. Anyway, we're on case 4. I'm very excited. I'm always excited when I play this game. It was indeed a most bizarre incident born of a curious advertisement and a commonplace killing at the edge of town.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window.
Ooh, this
I
one's
wonder
narrated.
exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder, an executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
All right. I don't know anything about Ace Attorney except the render bot, and yeah, that's kind of all you need to know, isn't it? So let's see. What happened last time? It's been like 2 weeks. We solved a very, very long case involving a forensic scientist and a wax sculpture. Kazuma, our childhood friend, regained his memory after we thought he was dead. We found out he was alive but had amnesia, and then the amnesia went away. We also found out that Kazuma's father was a serial killer. So that's fun. 8 days after that earth-shattering trial and Kazuma regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment. Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. Zato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised. The truth about Kazuma-sama's father... You suppose my father knew? That he was actually the mass murderer, the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean... They did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. That probably means he knows then about Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. The visual novel. Cheap novella. Hey, this is one of the best visual novels. I don't know what you're talking about. This is one of the, it's one of the longest running visual novel series, I think, in existence. I don't know if there's any other visual novel series that's been going as long as Ace Attorney. There might be one with more entries, but this one's certainly been going on the longest. When did the first one come out? I want to say, 2001? Ace Attorney release. Yeah, 2001. When it first released. Jesus. That long ago. Ace Attorney is 20 years old. Almost 21 years old. Ah, there she is. Now there's a man with a hell of a beard. Oh, that's the judge, isn't it? Oh yeah, it's the judge and Mikotoba. Steph, your skill tonight. Futo, I promise you, it didn't just drop out of nowhere like that. There was 7 hours of build up to that reveal. Oh, father. Hello, Susato. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. It has? I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? And why do I feel as though I've seen him before? He's the judge from the Japanese court. I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Seshiro? A firm tap ought to do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Here we go then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, guilty! Oh! You're... Yep, there he is. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Your Excellency. Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time. Ha 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 ha. Good, you've remembered now. That really did the trick. Guilty. Oh, Futo, you're gonna love this game. There is a lot of very hot men. There's a lot of very hot men. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seshiro? What are you talking about, Yujin? Of course, Judge Jigoku, he must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Ah, I knew you were jealous. Sorry? Ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on the study tour. Selexa, thank you for 9 months. Now I will birth our child. Thank you. Jesus, 9 months. Has it really almost been a year? Holy shit. Oh, well, thank you very much. It's really every bit as important as he looks. Ah, yes now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes. Could you tell us any more about it? Yeah, well, tell me about your trip first. Tell me about your trip in from Japan. The murder stuff, that can wait. We can wait. That's not a big deal. So, how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. But it wasn't as bad when we first came 16 years ago. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris. We did, yes. Sorry, I'm still waking up a little bit. Yes, we did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the Symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. It's thanks to Seishiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited. I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Yujin. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at a major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. Though, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Cosmo's father, I suppose. Alright, please tell me more about Cosmo's father. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Cosmo's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asogi. Genshin? Man, you could say those killings really had an impact. Da 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 da. I need to remember to put that laugh track on my stream deck. Genshin. It's gonna be so hard not to make a fucking Genshin Impact joke every fucking time. You knew, I presume, Father? Yes, he was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. Never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided. I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death? Does his beard have physics and collision? Well, it's a high-quality beard. You gotta give it the works, man. You gotta give it physics. You gotta give it collision. It's all very important. I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh? What? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosmo's since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zykes. What? What? That's news to us. So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. Does my beard have collision? Does it look like I can grow a beard? Do you see any stubble here? Bold of you to assume I can even grow a beard. I'm too soft for a beard. As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship. As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He was alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father? In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try and ascertain what had happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive? And here in London, you say? I never dared to even dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now. Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. I wonder how Kazuma's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? Too much femme in this boy for a beard. Yeah, exactly. Oh, really, Futoki? Really? Why don't I believe you? Why don't I believe that you could grow a beard? I wonder. That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Yujin here, Genshin Asogi, and myself. We were the original 3. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago, things were tough for their generation. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady. Yes, grandmother told me. I mean, to be fair, 16 years ago for any generation was harder. Malding? Now I'm just putting you in your place. That's not malding. That's just making sure that you know I'm the prince around here. I'm in charge. I'm the big cheese. He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy. Practically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Ugh, not more talk of graves. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. You remember that Scottish prison governor? Kaiden, his name was. He was a good man. Yes, then of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing, and I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after that trial, we were sent back to Japan. Fudo, that is so horrendously cursed. Just never speak again. Thank you. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. I just didn't have the money for any more Primogems. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. Susato-san's gone off at a run. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh, yes. Susato-san hinted at something like that. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. One other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm so sorry that took so long. Miss Susato. Hey, wait a minute. I recognize this guy. He was on the jury. For one of the cases. Now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, Porter. Of course, sir. He's got a flask. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Ah, yes, of course. Nice. A cute little picture. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then that we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Alright, where are we headed? Yes, Sholmes' suite. On Baker Street. Sorry, how do you pronounce that? What was that? A man screaming in a most unflattering way. You think... Could it have been Mr. Sholmes? Oh my, I do hope not. I don't do it anymore. Mon ami, mon ami. Stop this disgraceful display, huh? Who are these people? Look at their hair. It's bright red. Meh. Oh my god. They're gingers. Disgusting. I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes. Right, you two. You're coming with me now. Down to the clinic. No, not in prison. It's dark and damp and I don't like it. Both. The darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared. Ueh, ueh. But you are always afraid of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next daring heist. Ueh, I don't like this. I don't like it. Good God. Who are these people? Heist, though. They said heist. Are they thieves? They're kind of making thieves look bad right now, okay? They're kind of making thieves look bad. Well, tough. We'll finish this down at the yard. Now get moving. Bye then, Ginny. Have fun. Oh yeah. Thanks, Iris. And thanks, you great detective. Gina's so cute. It's not fair. Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie and Runo. Hello, Iris. We're home. Well, did you find your daddy? Why'd you have to word it like that, Iris? Why'd you have to word it like that? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon. Ah, yes, of course. Dr. John H. Wilson. So, Iris, all that remains now is that greatest of problems known to man. Sholmes? What did you do to your hair? What the fuck happened? What did you do? Why is it red now? Why are you a ginger now? What the fuck happened? But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order. Don't you, my dear fellows? Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say. Come along then, everyone. I brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. Whatever's going on here today. In that case, let us sit and drink now. For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today. It doesn't look that bad. It looks weird. I'm so used to seeing this man as a blonde. This doesn't feel right. It feels like something's very, very wrong. Oh, I can't just ask him about his hair? Okay, all right. I guess we're not concerned about the fact that his hair has suddenly shifted colors violently. Mr. Sholmes, who were the two gentlemen that were here before? Oop. Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions. When the mood takes you? All manner of infractions? But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out. Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes. But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally. You should have asked Gregsy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party. I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Aha! I have it! A bungler! That's the word. But good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads had been up to no good. I wonder what the men did. It sounded like a heist. One of them said heist. I like heist. She has a gun? Yes, Iris has a gun. It shoots like smoke bombs. Okay, I need to look at this. This mask is very important. This is the mask that Cosmo was wearing while he still had amnesia. The mask Cosmo wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zykes as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up. We ought to give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself. But isn't he your best friend? Rangephobic and pro-gun? Typical Alistair stream. Ah, yes, we all know. I hate the color red, and I love shooting things. Well, I do love shooting things, but, you know. That's, we keep that under wraps, you see. What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before? Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes? How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere. Possibly. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Wait, what? We were apes? Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes? Why, is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent. Well, he's not wrong. You like shooting loads, too? I plead the fifth. I refuse to answer that. I will not self-incriminate. But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tuspel's only the other day? Pshaw, a large sum. One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you. I'm sorry, a new car? A new fucking car? Yeah, no wonder all the money's gone. Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it. Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least. And what was the answer? Why, there's a substantial clue before your very eyes. Don't tell me. Let me see. Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There's one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think. In the end? It's been stabbing me in both eyes right there from the very beginning of our conversation. I think we might need another clue before we can uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo. Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. Alright, tell me about this lie. Man's sense of fashion is so strange. A little bit. The fingerless gloves work a little better when he's got his big, detective trench coat on. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us... Oh yeah, here you go. Here's what he normally looks like. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. I told you, Futo. I told you. There's a lot of very hot men in this game. This man de-yassified. Hey, you know, even though he's a detective, he's a hell of a fucking himbo. That case aboard the SS Buria in January. Kazuma wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. Ooh, I just had a really bad, like, little bit of heartburn there. Hang on. Oh, ooh. You know those heartburn burps where you can, like, you get, like, a tiny taste of the bile? Ugh. Yeah, it was one of those. Ugh. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse. Oh, how horrible. It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong. Oh! I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Sholmes. So the timeline of, like, Cosmo's whole thing is, like, he was with us in the first case of the first game to, help us, like, learn how to be a lawyer. The second case, we found him dead, on the ship that we were taking to London. And then, in the like, 2 cases ago, we saw him, as an apprentice to Lord Van Zykes. Although they didn't reveal that it was Cosmo at the time. And then the previous case, we discovered that it was Cosmo and that he had amnesia. And then his amnesia went away. That's the timeline so far. Apparently, so after he was supposedly murdered, he was taken off the ship at Hong Kong, and then his body disappeared. For some reason or another. My eye is always drawn to this big metal chest that Mr. Sholmes and Iris use as a coffee table. Isn't it where Iris keeps her very important papers? It is. You'd think that they treat it with more care, really. But only the other day I saw Mr. Sholmes kick it. Oh no! Oh, something must have been frustrating him. What a shame to mistreat the furniture, though. Was it damaged? The chest was fine, but Mr. Sholmes was doubled up on the floor for almost 10 minutes. Oh dear, that is a painful tale. Can you remind me of their ultimate talents? Oh god. Futo, pray to God that they don't release another Danganronpa game. Because if they do, I am streaming it. It will happen. I will play the game on stream the day it releases. You can quote me on that. You can mark my goddamn words. Anyhow, I finally managed to remember this behemoth's name, the Great Analytoscope. I don't think it was here when I left for Japan, was it? Oh, is that right? Yes, because it was with the pawnbroker. Ah, of course. Oh, that's giving me a wonderful idea. I could pawn everything that's on your desk. The office would be tidy at last. Don't even joke about it, Mr. Sato. You are joking, aren't you? Aren't they making a spin-off? Hell if I know. I know they released like a, sort of like a packaged, like remastered trilogy. And they, in that trilogy, they made it so like one of the bonus games from V3 had like more content or something. Like, I think it was like a board game, like side activity you could do in V3. They just added a whole bunch more like lore stuff to it. I think that's what happened, if I'm remembering correctly. Ah, yes, Mr. Sholmes' curious collection of trinkets from the various mysteries he's solved. They already released it? I'm pretty sure they did. Hang on. Danganronpa. What was it? It was, package? Absolute Despair Collection? Was that it? No, that's not it. Decadence. Decadence, that's what it was called, wasn't it? Danganronpa Decadence. Indulge in a decade of despair with 4 games in one. Contains Trigger Happy Havoc, Anniversary Edition, Goodbye Despair, Anniversary Edition, Killing Harmony, Anniversary Edition, and features the brand new title Danganronpa S Ultimate Summer Camp, a board game style bonus game with all new scenes and interactions between your favorite characters. And it releases... Is it already released? Let me click this GameStop link. Let me see if it tells me when it's coming out. I think it's already out. Yeah, it's out. Yep, it is indeed out. I can't quite say I'm interested in the board game all that much, personally. I just don't really care. Oh yeah, it released in December. Yeah, so that's already out. I don't really care about the board game though. I'm just gonna wait for the next mainline game. Or maybe if they make, what was it, Despair Girls 2? Maybe I'll play that on stream? I don't know. Despair Girls 1 was not really what I would call stream material. It was fine, but I didn't exactly enjoy it. Ah, yes. Mr. Sholmes' curious collection of trinkets from the various mysteries he's solved. It's one of my favorite parts of this room, full of items with such exciting tales to tell. And I do believe he's added to it since I last looked. Now there's a mysterious pince-nez, a mysterious little box, a mysterious horseshoe, a mysterious biscuit. I think that last one might just be one of Iris's unfinished snacks. Gotta reunite with my fatherless side and play it. Ah, Christ. Oh, no. This blackboard is where Iris scribbles down her latest ideas, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, she seems to have drawn a lot of little stick figures all lined up. Look. Cheap apples at the market is what all of them say. What? Little figures can speak? All your questions would be answered if only you would read this month's Rants magazine. I'm the only one who can't make any sense of this. So I gotta find out what turned Sholmes' hair red, I think. Hell if I know what, though. Sholmes, why is your hair red? Please, please, I need to know. Iris's pretty little tea set is set out beautifully as ever. Look. Well, it's only by carefully taking care of a tea set that you can make good tea. Is that a roundabout way of telling me I need to tidy my desk? Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you do overthink things at times. What if it just happened, though? You know, you're right. The thing is, I gotta move this conversation forward somehow, and apparently I need another clue from somewhere. Maybe I should just take a quick look up here. Ooh. So, there's a chest. Treasure chest? What's in it? Is it gold? Is it mine? It's mine. You see? I've been keeping busy. My desk beautifully covered in papers as always. You really must tidy it all up, Mr. Naruhodo. No more excuses. But Mr. Sato, the way I see it, all these papers building up on my desk like this are a reminder of my wonderfully diverse daily life. I like to leave them as they are, so I never forget how lucky I am to have such varied experiences. In that case, you should definitely have a thorough tidy. Then you'll be able to see your papers building up all over again and feel that joy renewed. Still can't beat her in an argument, even though I'm the lawyer here. Just clean your goddamn desk. It's filthy. Maybe the guy pulled a reverse Giorno and de-blondified. Oh, Christ. Oh, no. My desk is just as it was before I left. Sumi ink and a calligraphy brush, even though we're in England now. It strikes me as typically you, Mrs. Sato, and typically not you at the same time. Well, I do enjoy all the wonderful new things to come out of the West in the Cultural Revolution, of course. But I'm not ready to give up my brush just yet. And anyway, Susato-san can write more neatly with a brush than most people can with a pen. Practice makes perfect, as they say. Fair enough. I guess we go to the Lord Chief Justice's office. Maybe he'll have something to say about this, this heist. Oh, Futo. Futo, are you ready to meet Van Zykes? I think you're really gonna like Van Zykes. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Van Zykes doing here? My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. No, this is Strongheart. This is the Chief Justice. Lord Van Zykes was, the other guy who's back there. We haven't gotten a close look at him, just yet. I have bad taste? What do you mean, bad taste? Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I'm right here. Kill me now. Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you. Looking directly at chat. Looking directly at chat. Staring daggers at chat. Yeah. Yeah, Futo, they're both lords. Like lord is just like a general, like a high-ranking title in Britain at this, in this era. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. These are the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly. As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. They're... What are you asking? They're... Birithis? Biritis? What? Oh, British. Yes, they're British. Most people here are British. We're in London, Futo. The only people in this room right now that aren't British are Susato and Naruhodo, because they're Japanese. Everyone else we've met so far has been British. Yes, we're in London. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. Why did they do that? Because Sherlock Sholmes. You know, who is a ripoff of Sherlock Holmes. Anyway, there's Lord Van Zykes right there. There he is. There's the prosecutor man. This is great. Just watching Futo foam at the mouth at every large man that comes into frame. Oh. We might not get to it today, but try to catch one of the days that we're like doing an actual like trial. Like today's probably just gonna be investigation, and then the next time I stream this, it'll be a trial. He's the prosecutor. Van Zykes is the prosecutor, and he has a lot of very fun animations. Like a lot of very fun animations. Like crushing a wine glass in his hand. And slamming his leg onto his desk. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands then, Lord Van Zykes. I will attend at once. Where's the red hate man? You mean Edgeworth? Edgeworth hasn't been born yet. This takes place in like, it's the 1800s, I think. It's like the late 1800s, early 1900s, I think. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know. I haven't done anything, have I? Yeah. Didn't you hear them say like, oh, the theory of evolution? That's a relatively new concept. These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Ah, of course. What is this franchise? I thought they were stupid. I mean, for Ace Attorney characters, assuming they're stupid is, fair enough. People are still discovering vaccines. Yeah. Yeah, you got a point there. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, fear not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. It would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Van Zykes is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Oh. Missing? What's become of Kazuma-sama now? Let's see. So, let's ask about this missing apprentice, yeah? About Lord Van Zykes' apprentice. Ah, yes. That came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends. How did he come to be an apprentice to Lord Van Zykes in the first place? It came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my, so he stowed away to get here. That's why he disappeared. He must have had amnesia, but he remembered that he wanted to go to London. Like, it's like partial amnesia, not complete amnesia. He remembered that he wanted to get to London, and that's all he could remember. So he snuck aboard a ship to get here. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact that he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zykes. That way I could keep an eye on him. But then, why the mask? He didn't want to burden Lord Van Zykes with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice. Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask? He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zykes. I have high hopes for his future. Englishmen in the Industrial Revolution, aren't they, like, racist? You know, Van Zykes is a little bit... Van Zykes seems to really hate Japanese people. And we recently found out why that is. It's because a Japanese man murdered his brother. So now he just kind of hates all Japanese people. He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zykes. I have high hopes for his future. By the way, do you know where he's gone? No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being. Oh. I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean. Genshin Asogi. Why did they make the hot man racist? Hell if I know. Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million. 30 million? Are there even that many people in the world? As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital, Tokyo, is 2 million. I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making, 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. It sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential, which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. It's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something. Every time he swings that stick, your heart skips a beat, huh? Yeah, it sounds about right for you, Fudo. Yeah, he T-posed. He's asserting his dominance. I bet you like that, don't you, Futo? I bet you want him to assert his dominance over you. Sid! Hey, welcome on in. Enjoy your lurk. Oh, have fun with D&D. Have a good time. You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. Well, that does remind me, I should make a lurk command at some point. It's a good idea. I should do that. I keep forgetting to do that. There's a lot of things I forget to do. Head empty. No thoughts. You wish I T-posed for you? That can be arranged. How's that? How's that, Futo? I can T-pose for you. Did you not know I had this power? Did you not know that I was this strong? Yes, I can do this. I have incredible power, Futo. This is why I'm the alpha around here. Fine, I'll show you mercy. This time. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. Futo, I know we like to joke. Please don't call me that. And I mean that seriously. Please don't use that word for me. You can call literally anyone else daddy, but please don't call me daddy. So the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. Oh, that's right, because we kind of had the lead of the investigation team arrested because she did a whole bunch of crimes. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously. Nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. Yeah, this man wants to be, he wants to be the big Attorney General. He wants to be in charge of, like, all of the justice system. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was... Ah, yes, Genshin Asogi. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain. Man looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh character with the eyeliner. Yeah, I feel that. I absolutely get that. Honestly, you know, I don't know when it's going to happen. It's not going to be for a while, I'll tell you that much. But at some point, I'll probably get, like, an updated, like, model. And I think I want to have some eyeliner on the new model. Like a little bit of a Jack Sparrow vibe, you know? You know, I could use a little bit more, a little more flair, you know? I mean, like, my emotes kind of have, like, a little bit of like an eyeliner look to them, with the thick lines around the eyes. Let's fucking go. I need to, like, figure out a new outfit, though. If I'm gonna do, like, an updated model, I'd want, like, an entirely new outfit to go with it. And, that's the hard part. That's the really hard part. Honestly, like I said, it's not gonna be for quite some time. Like, I gotta make sure, like, I have, like, a decent following before I go and do something like that. Models are expensive, and I'm not going to just spend that money willy-nilly. Bara Alistair win? Never. You get femboy and that's all you get. You'll take your femboy and you'll fucking like it. They were such awful murders and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon. And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. That's right. That's right. That's right. You're gonna stay in line now, Futo. That's right. You know my power now. Now you're gonna do what I say. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London. The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand. Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause. What? Supporters of a mass murderer? The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Oh. So he was an eat the rich sort of man, I see. Painted nails? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely painted nails. Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bayley. Oh, is that all? Is that all we have to speak about now? You couldn't read all these books even if you were reincarnated 6 times over as a bookworm. Lord Strongheart really have read all of these? Thinking about it, Father's study is full of books that look as though they've never been read too. Oh, really? Peddlers of books are forever pushing their wares on him, you see. And I think he's just too kind-hearted to refuse them. The phrase for that in Britain. People would say, they saw him coming. Makes me wonder if perhaps the vast number of books on the shelves in here are a sign of Lord Strongheart's overwhelming kind-heartedness. I'm not sure you could afford to have a kind heart if you have to keep Lord Van Zykes in line, could you? Fair point. That man is almost a literal vampire. Would support a mass murderer, looks at TikTok. Yeah, gee willikers, I wonder. I guess we're done with you. So what am I missing here? I guess I should talk to Susato because I didn't talk to her yet? It's good news that Professor Mikotoba arrived safely, isn't it? Yes, it's wonderful. And the fact that Father has been invited to this important international event really makes me very proud to be his daughter. Your father, Judge Jigoku, us, and Kazuma, of course. There's an ever-increasing number of Japanese here in Britain's capital, isn't there? Well, yes, I suppose so. But London does have a population of 6 million people, so I think we're still a minority. Susato-san's father, who came here as a visiting student 16 years ago, Kazuma. It's almost as if some great power has been at work, drawing them here across the ocean to London. I feel as though the waters are starting to swell again now. That didn't tell me what to do at all! What are you talking about? Yeah, there's no one here to talk to. And, I don't see anything really worth investigating, I don't think. Let's see. Investigate his desk, maybe? Just sitting behind that desk must make you feel so important, don't you think? Would you like to have an office like this, Mr. Naruhodo, with such a grand desk? Who, me? No, I don't think so. Oh? Well, imagine if you suddenly found yourself needing the toilet. You'd have so far to go. How true. Perhaps the important people who work in ostentatious offices like this haven't considered such things. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Yeah, we still need to do more here, I guess. So, we have to find out why the man is red-haired. Oh, maybe this newspaper. Here we go. This looks like last week's edition. What's that article circled in red ink there? It's an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League." The Red-Headed League? What's that? I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but... Is something on my face? Clearly this has something to do with that. Lively hair. Is this implying that important people shit themselves? I mean... Could be. I mean, look, if you're important enough and you shit yourself, nobody's gonna say anything. They're just going to, like, live in fear of you. All right, let me examine this real quick. To the Red-Headed League. On account of the bequest of the late Ezekiel Hopkins of Lebanon, PA, USA, there is now another vacancy open which entitles a member of the League to a salary of £4 a week for purely nominal services. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind and above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply in person on the morning of the 31st at the large park in Lime Street. Get £4 per week if you are a redhead. A most fantastic money-making opportunity. Damn. Damn, I guess they really are redheads. 'Cause that's communism, baby. I got 'em! No, that's not communism at all. That's just people with red hair getting paid. Oop. Looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes. Hey, don't worry, Futo. I hate this streamer too. To the Red-Headed League. Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? Tell me about the Red-Headed League. Didn't they just ask him? That's a great question. I don't know. I really don't know why they didn't just do that. So what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled? You noticed it in the paper, then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was. How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week. But why? What are they paying people for? Redhead Alistair win. We do already have a green one, don't we, Futo? God, I feel like I wouldn't look good with red hair. I feel like it has to be like a cool color, like, you know, blue or purple or green. Like, yellow and orange and red would just not work. I don't think even blonde would look that good with me. You can make it work? You're welcome to do your best, Futo. And granted, your best is usually pretty fucking good. It's really fucking good. You know, there's a reason my Discord profile is still one of those things you drew. Hell, I made one of them my Twitter banner too. But surely every redheaded person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. So will I, just on the off chance. That might be stretching a point, I think. The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. Yeah, I did. I think, I want to say it's the bunny suit one. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Let me check real quick. I can, like... Yeah, it's the bunny suit one. I wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes. So you decided to try and join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it. Oh, you fucked up. What did you fuck up this time, Sholmes? What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes? I'm glad you asked, Mr. Sato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. In the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass. But Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Amateurs are always hampered by such fears. Oh, I should never have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say... Of course. To earn 4 pounds per week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely. Why is his name Sholmes? Because copyright is a bitch. It's supposed to just be Sherlock Holmes. Like he is just supposed to be Sherlock Holmes. But copyright is a bitch, and the Conan Doyle family still owns like a little bit of the Sherlock Holmes copyright. So in order to not pay royalties, it's Sherlock Sholmes, which is it's also the name that the author of the Lupin Arsène series, or is it Arsène Lupin? Yeah, it's the Arsène Lupin series. There was a crossover where Arsène Lupin was tailed by Sherlock Sholmes. Because it was originally supposed to be Sherlock Holmes, but you know, Arthur Conan Doyle was like, no, please don't, thank you. So anyway, Hurley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street, where the Red-Headed League was interviewing prospective new members. So what went wrong? The whole park was choked in red-headed folk, like a Costa's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. When the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" Ah. Well, they recognized him immediately. So naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away." After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police. Oh dear, what a disaster. For Hurley and those two redheads. So who are the redheads anyway? They tried to rob you or some shit? Aha! Here's my guest now, my latest client, with money to spend. Ooh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley. Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating, save locating a runaway, of course. Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? You love pathetic men? Oh, so that's why you like my streams. Okay, I get it now. I understand. Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due. Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes, please, oh please. I recognize her. She was also on the jury at one point. Please find my husband. He's run away. Well, you knew that was coming. That much was obvious. To upset me? I beg your pardon? Never mind. A personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I didn't say a word. Come, my dear madam. Be seated. Iris, some tea if you please. Of course. Not parasocial. Yes, good. Good that it's not parasocial. What's the matter, Mrs. Sato? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently. Yes, now you come to mention it. As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. Like evening vigil? Gotta love those pun names. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure. Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you are the picture of benevolence. I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be... Oh, me? What I'm about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand. Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally. After all, he's hard of hearing. Why did I ever get my hopes up? Yeah, his eyebrows are red too. It's like you said, that potion turns every hair on your body crimson. Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps? Oh my. Pshaw, my dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week? Ah, I knew I recognized her. Yep, there she is. To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine. Didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now. Must be very difficult for you as a lawyer. Being hard of hearing, I mean. Pardon? Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really, nothing more. Oh, look what you've started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much. I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner. Yes. God, I can't stop yawning today. Yeah. Tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Vigil, my Bayley, is 40 years of age. Oh my god, daily vigil? Daily vigil and evening vigil? I hate it here. I hate it here. I have a photograph here. He looks like a fop. An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married? It will be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship, and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. Hunter, hey, how's it going? Welcome on in. Glad to have you. As it would appear, I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh! Your dress is the latest style, your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? God, this man has her honkers Futo, please. Was this... I feel like this isn't like, oh, ankles are scandalous era right now. Probably. Probably not. But maybe showing off... I really don't know the fashion of the era. I don't know history all that good. History was not my best subject. Matter of fact, it was probably my worst subject. That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me. Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or another. Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will? What exactly is your husband's line of work? The warder at the prison. Guard? That is somewhat unusual. Everything before 2003 for me was medieval. Pre-Fudo world must have been wild. Fair enough, I suppose. So, your husband is a prison warder. Hang on, I'm gonna stretch real quick. Gotta stretch out that spine a little bit. And get some water. God, I slept like a decent amount last night. I slept pretty soundly too, but I'm still tired. I'm always tired. I'm probably like pretty gravely sleep deprived, honestly. And I don't have any intention of stopping. That's right, yes. Well, in actual fact, he's the chief warder. Indeed, I see. Well, a chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation. Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out. Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments? And at such times he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he is remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors. Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged? Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes. Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it. Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery. No. Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable. Yep, Barclay Prison is where, you know, the professor was, he was buried there, and then he was dug up, kind of. And then he, like, burst from his coffin, still alive somehow, and then he was shot by some unknown person. Maybe if you slept with some bitches. I'm bitches, not parasocial. God, Fudo really out here with the hardcore thirst, huh? God, I think you need the hydrate redeem more than I do, Futo. Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable. Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid you've lost me. Ah, pay no heed, madam, pay no heed. A private matter. This can't really be a coincidence, can it? Alright, tell me more about your husband just vanishing, shall we? So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance, when did you realize he was missing? Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday. I'm sorry, yesterday? That really is recent. Laughably so. The truth is, my husband does at times have an occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him to not return home at night. But this is different. For him to not make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Bayley, Whatever could have happened? My dear Mrs. Vigil, please, calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police? Why, naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home. In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway. Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention. You seek only to put this sweet's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it. Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir. Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report. I'm quite sure. So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes. Good news should be delivered early, as I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous. What if he's just extremely homosexual and just wants to hang out with the boys? Her name is Virgil, bro. Virgil, bro. Clearly that man hasn't touched his wife. It's Vigil. Like, you know, looking out. Like keeping watch. Not virgin. Although you'd know a whole lot about that, wouldn't you, Futo? You'd know a whole lot about that, wouldn't you? You know, I think it every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure? Accept the truth, Futo. Accept it. Oh, you're gonna kick my ass? Are you quite sure about that? You have no power here. You have no power here. Learn your place. Can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. You saw the arms PNGs appearing. Yeah, I know you did. You can tell when it starts to shift, and that's when the fear sets in. That's what I'm counting on. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Don't look at me with those pleading eyes. Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case? Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually. Excellent. And what did you make of it? Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison. I mean... Ah, so you noted that. Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery. Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. Oh yeah, Fudo, what do you think of this man here? This mechanical man. How does he make you feel? Sharp. What is he? He's an engineer. I like how you can hear like all the mechanical clicking still. Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts. Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated. Professor. And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want? No doubt the man is equally worried. But aren't you going to go yourself? Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with this hair. Well, that's a fair point. But didn't you just go to Lime Street with that hair? That was quite a different matter. So, I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy. Of course you are. Put on a hat or something. You'd still be able to see the hair, even with the hat on there. I like how we said Among Us and you didn't react. Yeah, I've had plenty of Among Us for 1 week. If you need some context, go to Zeal's channel and check the VOD for her for their big birthday stream. Cause I was there. I was there in that stream. We played Garctic Phone, and I had to draw so many Among Us. I had to draw so many Among Us, Futo. You don't understand. There was one round where I had to draw 2 Among Us ass. It just in the same round. But yeah, definitely check out their VOD after the fact. I had some fun. Alistair, my boy, parasocial. Yes, and it was the it was the animation round. So I didn't just have to draw Among Us ass. I had to draw it in motion. I had to draw it jiggling. I don't want to think about that anymore. We're moving on. Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. That is, that's a hell of a clock you got there. Why does it do that? Oh God. CBT, no, oh God, no, please. That's not CBT, that's just castration. Make a CBT joke, Alistair. Cock and ball torture. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Cock and ball torture is CBT, is a... Fuck. You know, I'm gonna look it up. Fine. We'll do the goddamn meme. Hang on. Where's Wikipedia? Where's Wikipedia? No, not cognitive behavioral therapy. That's not the type of CBT I want. Fucking... Can't believe this is going in my search history. I can't believe you're making me do this. There we go. Cock and ball torture, CBT, occasionally known as penis torture, dick torture, or male genitor... male genital torture is a sexual activity involving the application of pain or constriction to the penis or testicles. This may involve directly painful activities such as genital piercing, wax play, genital spanking, squeezing, ball busting, genital flogging, urethral play, tickle torture, erotic electrostimulation, kneeing, or kicking. There you go. There, I did it. I did the funny voice. I did the funny copy pasta. Are you satisfied? Are you happy now? Go on, clip it, share it with the world. Tell everyone, haha, Alistair did the funny CBT joke. This man's built like a brick shithouse. Oh no. He's Scottish. Oh no. This place is... Oh god. Scottish accents. This place is full of hardened criminals. I can't remember the last time a civilian was done here. Minx, welcome on in. Thank you so much for 5 months. Welcome on in. How you been? And you didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me. Good lord, that is a chin. That is a mustache. Holy shit, look at this man. You just got off of work? Well, welcome home then. I hope you had a good day. Or at the very least, a day that wasn't completely exhausting. His stream is just Alistair insulting Europeans. It sure is. He does have the Mega Chad chin. Shit, you're right. That's just him. That's him. It's Mega Chad. Do you ken who I am? I'm the governor, Barry Kaiden. Oh, yes. It's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. And an Easterner, I see. Does that mean? Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan. Japan? Did you say Japan? Yes? Well, there's no any of your kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh? I didn't notice another prison next door, sir. Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about... I didn't like to be so direct, but... I've no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners. Oh, he's racist. Cool. Now get out of my hair. So as soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. I think so too. 10 years ago, Genshin Asogi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison. I might have known. You're sniffing around about that case, aren't you? You're agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt. No, not at all. We're just... Get gone with you, before I punch your lights out. We're going. Clearly, the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here, unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Kaiden? What are you thinking, Mr. Sato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. To think of it, I have the same feeling. I said get out! Alright, well, I guess we're leaving. Goodbye. This case Scottish. Probably because Irish people are actually pretty nice. In this case Scottish. Yeah, I mean, like... Maybe shit hangs out with a CBT clock. Like, I'm trying to think... I'm trying to think Scottish characters in media. Who is there? There's Shrek, there's the Demo Man, and there's Fat Bastard. Those are the first three to come to mind. I think... Aren't two of them the same person? Wait a minute, who played Fat Bastard? What, did Mike Myers play Fat Bastard? No, I don't want a GIF. I just want to know. Hang on. Fat Bastard actor. That was Mike Myers, wasn't it? It was Mike Myers. So yeah, Shrek and Fat Bastard are literally the same person. Fat Bastard was the precursor to Shrek. The prequel. Oh my god. I can't believe Austin Powers is a Shrek movie now. That's Professor Mikotoba over there. Ah, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked. But where's Judge Jigoku? Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs. Having only just arrived in the country today. Goodness, he's full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before about how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison? Oh, Governor Kaiden, you mean? So it is the same man. Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners. Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story. Oh, would you? That would be wonderful. If you have the time now. Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment. Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee. Now, I have a rather lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know. Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? You Mikotobans are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts. Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts? I know a couple Scottish and Irish people in real life and they're super nice. Aw, that's really sweet, Minx. That's really nice to hear. I don't think I've ever met any, like, Irish or Scottish people, like, in person. Unless it was, like, you know, just, like, descended from, you know, Irish and Scottish people. I've never met, like, anyone who actually has an Irish or Scottish accent in No, wait. No, my doctor has an Irish accent. Yeah, he's Irish. And he is very nice, you're right. I feel like maybe there was, like, another Irish person at some point that I met, but I don't think I recall. Let's not fall out now. I have an idea. What's he writing on that piece of paper? Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune. Ah, thank you. Good luck, then. Let's see. It's written on the back of, Oh, it's written on the back of his ticket, isn't it? Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse, first class cabin 001. Yokohama departure 11th September. London arrival 1st November. Ah, that's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think it called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover. I think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Borea. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine it? Or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? Professor Mikotoba has wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? Yes, I can definitely read that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy? I do wish he'd at least called you a nice young man. I'm really not sure that would help. Ugh. Alright, let's get rolling then. What? Stop. Alright. Let's get back to the prison then. And talk to this man. Come on. Present the thing. There we go. If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Kaiden. What's this then? You can't pull the wool over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student. Mikotoba? Oh, Mikotoba? That young jock from the forensics laboratory. That Mikotoba? Yes, exactly, him. Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Yujin Mikotoba's daughter, Susato. Jings! You're the young man's daughter! And you didn't think to mention that before. I do apologize. Aye, well, you'd best take a seat then, and I offer you a cup of tea perhaps. And didn't they forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits? Even his biscuits are handcuff shaped. Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now. So then, what can I do for you, eh? What can I do for you, hen? Well, we're currently investigating a case. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing. Missing? That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor. He's into BDSM confirmed. Yeah, I mean, well, he works in a prison. He's got, like, weapons and chains, like, all over the wall. I have heard nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison. Oh. But how can that be? It's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder. Vigil? That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir? Aye, of course. Alright, tell me about Vigil. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison. Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to his job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warder. I'm struggling with the Scottish accent, if you couldn't tell. It's real hard for me. Like, okay, hang on. I know a way to maybe make this work. Hang on, I just need to listen to something real quick, okay? Hang on. Alright, here we go. Alright. Let me just go into my options here. I'm gonna turn the audio, I'm gonna turn the music off here real quick, okay? I need to listen to this so I can do my Scottish accent, alright?
What makes me a good demo man? If I were a bad demo man, I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it with you, now would I? Yeah.
If I were a bad demo man, I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it with you now, would I?
Crossed wire. One crossed wire, one wayward pinch of potassium chloride, one errant twitch, and kablooey!
Okay. I think I got it. I think I got it now. Alright, we go back to the game now. Aye, he doesn't work here no more. He left the job. Oh my. When was this exactly? There's a question. When was it about? It can have been much less than 10 years ago now. What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago. Aye, as I mind it. You ken, I have nae heard the fella's name in all that time. That's a worry if he's gone missing, though. But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Kaiden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here? That's important, is it? Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago. Ah, which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. Tell me more, tell me more! So, Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of Chief Warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job? In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter. You mean, he was dismissed? It was after a particular walk. Sorry? A walk? Aye, that's our word for it here in here. A walk to the gallows. An execution. It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only, Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning. What did he do? I'm sorry, but I can't reveal that information. What I can tell you, it's a very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post. Why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here. I wouldn't ken anything about that, I'm afraid. Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal? And what would that be, hen? That last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it by any chance the professor's? My thoughts exactly. I'm sorry, I really am. But I'm not at liberty to answer that. I see. Alright, tell me about Professor Mikotoba and your relationship with him. My father came to Britain all those years ago to study forensic medicine. You seem to have been well acquainted. The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research. Do you ken? Yes, I can imagine. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable. Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard. In the basement of St. Sinners. It's still in use today. St. Sinners. That's come up before, I'm sure. Yes, that's right. We've been there. Mikotoba and I have used to ride in the carriage. Mikotoba and I used to ride in the carriage together and negotiate terms. For more fresh material, I suppose. Aye, and we used to sit here for hours and gab on about dissection and all sorts. Ugh, it takes me back. Over a pot of tea and a plate of cuff biscuits, of course. How charming. Wait for 2 seconds and come back to guillotine clock? Yes! Yes, we made a big joke about that one. I'll clip it for you later, Celexa. He was a good fella, your father. Reliable and dead set on his work. But I'm afraid I'll never understand you Japanese. Because of Genshin Asogi, I suppose. Well. I cannot tell you anything else. Thank you so much for your time, Governor. Oh, one moment before you're away, hen. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison. What is it? That's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course. Oh my, are you sure? Aye, it's no trouble at all. It's no the original mind. Of how Scottish people don't say not and then always say nay. It's my favorite thing. Yeah. Have you seen like Scottish Twitter? Just the way Scottish people like type, the way they speak is amazing. How can I understand the word you're saying? Thank you very much, Governor Kaiden. You literally type how they talk. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's almost like they're speaking another language sometimes. Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. That case is closed. Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being. Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with what we found out about Mr. Vigil. What will we tell Mrs. Vigil, I wonder? Yeah, so, husband still missing. Actually, let me check something real quick. I want to check the dismissal notice real quick. Notice of just dismissal, 25th of June. Chief Warder Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for Prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Reason for dismissal: aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convict just prior to his execution. Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiries will be Inspector. Prison Governor Barry Caden. Additional notes. Indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. We're back! Hello, you two! I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all. I was at the drive-thru getting like 5 drinks, and they idjit at the window asked me if I wanted a cup holder. I'm the octopus! I'm the octopus, you bloody reprobate! That's great. I remember that one. I've seen that one floating around. There were a lot of Scottish memes floating around when Pokemon Sword and Shield came out. Because it takes place basically in the UK. And everyone's like, oh man, what if the trainers were just Scottish? And it's just so funny. It's so good. Ah, so that's what the delicious smell is. Sholmes? Sholmes? You're stealing my look, number one. Number two, of course you have blue hair and pronouns. Greetings, my dear fellows. You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. Oh my. Pray, tell me, what of our warder friend? Have you garnered some new information? Wait. Oh. Automod holding Minx's comment, held message for reason, misogyny. Yes, I'll allow it. I mean, it's a harsh word, and if like people are using it in like an actual misogynistic way, we just slap them with the banhammer and then we laugh at them and say they have a tiny dick. But like in this case, I don't mind it. Like I've used the word on stream before. It's my personal like reserved word, you understand? Like when I'm really angry, when I really want to insult someone, that's the word I use. But like Scots and Australians use that word like it's the F word. They just sprinkle it in to spice up sentences. Oh yeah, I remember exactly the comment you're talking about though, Minx. Hang on, I gotta hold on, stop. Wait a minute. I scrolled down and I skipped like a bunch of text doing all that. Regarding new information. Oh, yes, something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. Most certainly is it. But still, we discovered that... Sholmes! Drop everything, Sholmes. This is more important. Gina? I can't Adam and Eve it. What's happened? Clearly a very grave matter indeed. Poor Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. It's the boss. Oh no. No, tell me they didn't kill Gregson. The boss is... He's dead. Oh no. Are you serious? Oh, fuck. Oh, dude. What? They just found his body, shot with a pistol. What? But Inspector Gregson? He was murdered? No, not Gregsy. Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. Oh god, poor Iris. Oh, Iris is gonna be heartbroken. Oh yeah, Tobias Gregson. Yeah, probably not your type, Fudo. Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson he was really shot? I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene. Where did this take place? A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street. The outskirts of town, nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange. The boss he was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him. I was gonna show him I become a proper detective. Oh, Gina. Oh, Ginny. So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? They got him already. Already? They've caught the shooter so soon? A witness reported something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took care of him. Who? What awful person did this? I still can't believe it myself. Mina? It was the Reaper. Van Zykes? What? Wait a minute. You don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zykes for it? That's right. That Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss. No, Lord Van Zykes. Yeah. What the fuck? What the fuck? Are you quite sure, Miss Lestrade? It's Barak Van Zykes the police have arrested. I saw him with my own eyes. In the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there were witnesses. And they're all saying it was him. So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses? They heard the gunshot, apparently. And when all got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room. But there's no way Lord Van Zykes would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either. What in the name of fuck? So wait, we gotta be defending Van Zykes then. Wait, who's gonna be the prosecutor? Who the fuck is the prosecutor? Kazuma. Kazuma's gonna be the prosecutor, isn't he? That's what the case is gonna be. We're defending Barak Van Zykes. And Kazuma becomes the opposing prosecutor. What the shit? Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry. What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come and all, as soon as you can. You gotta help. Oh, poor Gina. It's a detective's lot to appear wherever some sinister plot has unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves. Mr. Sholmes. What use is there in being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson. Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations. Of course, yes, we will too. It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later, then. He's really going out with that blue hair, huh? Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zykes arrested. Bruno, Susie, I've called you a hansom. It's waiting outside. Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Miss Susato? Yes. All right, let's move. We've got to, let's see, this is, oh, this is the murder scene, okay. 1st of November, room on Fresno Street. All right, have a good night, Fudo. Take care. Sleep well. This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden rented old room is where it happened then. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere. Oi! What do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath and all. I want the space above this ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey! Ain't you lot never gone over an house looking for dough when the owners are out of town? She's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt. Oh, so you've turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been here long myself. Hello again, Gina. Sholmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around in here, pointing at stuff and flicking that ad of his, and then just scarpered. Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean? Yeah. He didn't stop to say nothing to no one. Not even me. Gina, would you mind if we investigated too? Listen, Otto. You're a lawyer, right? Yes, why? Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you? Oh! Poor Gina. She's never going to forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever. Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zykes really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, Otto. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here. Thank you, Gina. Alright. Let's take a little look around. Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of Inspector Gregson's family members. Ah. What's the matter? They are, look! Mr. Naruhodo, quickly! Oh, wait a minute. That's the woman whose husband went missing, isn't it? Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow? Of course she's familiar. We met her only this morning. Ah, it's Mrs. Vigil. This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Vigil in here? To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either. Interesting. Well, Gina did say to check the chimney stack. An empty fireplace makes a room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's thick with dust, look. I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. Or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other. What the fuck is this? This looks like some sort of notice board or something. It's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, look! This, you mean? It's an autopsy report, isn't it? And these are case notes here, and details of prison inmates. Yes. In fact, they're all the sort of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room? Some old newspaper cuttings? Ah, and this one here. Oh, yes, the advertisement, you mean. To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason. Excuse me. Sorry, sir. Can't see a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir. Right. Perhaps I better leave you to your work then. Excuse me. Oh. Inspector? Oh, sir. Poor man. Can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. Aw, man. Even the other, like, Bobbies are, like, all broken up over losing Gregson. Can't blame them. Poor Gregson. Oh, and there's the red-headed wig. Ever since we came here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is. A bright red hairpiece. I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means that we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it? And in such a flame-colored red, too. Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it. Huh. So what's up with this, like, red-haired league? What's going on with that? Why is everybody so interested in it? It can't just be for the 4 pounds per week. Excuse me. If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard. Interrupted some deep thoughts there. Oh, what's this? It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it? In a way. Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Zykes playing with something like this. Only about 8 centimeters tall. Could have fallen out of someone's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case. Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful, after all, in a way. Ooh. This is presumably the murder weapon, then. Oh my. It is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot! No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. But at least safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. Probably best to avoid handling it. Yeah, that's fair. Gina might know something about it, though. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place? That's what I want to know. It's what half a year since I got out of the clink. That's when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead. Oh yes, Mr. Shums twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he? Something like that, I think. Anyway, point is, I didn't really know much about the boss until then. But turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the yard. Goodness, really? Looks like, 357 revolver. Well, your guess is as good as mine. Probably better guess than mine, honestly. I don't know shit about guns either. They say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that. Did. Yep. Ever since then, he started going out on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently. That's how it's supposed to work, is it? That's not how that's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this? I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all. And look where that landed him. Respect for the Reaper? In what way? I heard him say as much. I take my hat off to that fella, were his words. Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper. Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he respected the bloke. I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regard. He said something else to me and all. I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people what are bad. It kind of set my mind at ease when he said that. Right. A little about guns? Oh. Nice. It's always cool to have someone that actually knows someone about guns, like be able to like identify that sort of stuff. It's all like Greek to me. But like people that know shit about guns are it's neat. It's cool. I suppose this must have been the murder weapon. Oh my. It is real, I suppose. Oh yeah, so we're not going to be allowed to investigate this at all, are we? Yeah, it was just the same lines as before. What is this place then? Does anyone live here? Apparently it's being rented by some cove called Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. Hugh Boone. The sort of here today, gone tomorrow name that. The sort of here today, gone tomorrow name that, isn't it? Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. We haven't been able to get in touch with him. I see. Well, judging from appearances, I have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time. If ever. Right? All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. There's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves. I do wonder. Yes, Mr. Sato? Well, could it be that this Hugh Boone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself? What? How could that be? Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his. I'd never even considered that. Nice work, Suze. We're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves. You are. If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it. Really investigate this place in detail. Yeah, like the big fucking conspiracy board by the front door. That's kind of a big one. Yeah, chance it's custom because most cylinders have grooves to make rotating it easier. Oh, interesting. That's cool to know, actually. I see that's where the poor inspector was found, over there. Oh yeah, I should probably investigate, like, the outline as well. Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet what did him in. Apparently the bullet went right through him and struck that candle tree on the wall. Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely. And the gun used is there on the floor. It's the Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that. What? Really? How do you know that? Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself. But there's some bigwig lawman or whatever who said so. Why don't you ask him? Bigwig lawman, is it? Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There were some street sellers just outside who heard the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why. We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector here, after all. They'll be getting a grilling. Do you think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves? Oh, I doubt it. The lads at the yard will just want to know what you're snooping for, and you'll be up for a grilling and all. So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Okay, let me actually take a moment to examine those two things. The candles, maybe the broken windows as well. The top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's wax spattered on the wall behind, look. Suppose if a bullet had hit it, it does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body. Ugh. Now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. Let's take a look at this outline here. So I suppose this is where the victim... That's right. The rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away. And would probably be under Dr. Scythe's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week. From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost. I know it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that blood stain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality. Sato-san is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. The bullet hit the candle after passing through the body. The killer would have to be really short, or this was a point-blank headshot. Yeah, It's a good point. You gotta wonder exactly how that worked out. Yeah, it would have had to be like an upward shot, wouldn't it? To hit the candle. And judging by the way the body collapsed there, like curled up in a ball, I have to think that it probably wasn't instantaneous. It was not instantaneous death. And the bloodstain is kind of like around where like the body is. Like, I think that's the head there, and then like that's the legs and the feet, and that's an arm. So he was probably shot in like the stomach or something. yeah, you'd have to shoot, like, in an upward angle to do that. Huh. Very, very strange. Right, okay, so... Yeah, Gina said she didn't know anything about guns, so the person we have to present the gun to is someone else, most likely. Some, big important lawman. Could it be... Nope, not you. What about... Strongheart? Nope, no one here. Alright, we'll head to prison then. Yeah, I just checked. Big Scottish guy wasn't there. There he is. Lord Van Zyke's behind bars. So it's true. He really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zyke's. Yep, there he is. There's Lord Van Zyke's. Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be, but the last person on Earth I'd like to see. I couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened. That Inspector Gregson was... Go home. This has nothing to do with you. But... Forgive me, Lord Van Zyke's, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please. There's really nothing I can tell you. What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case? This. The Yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance. Oh, who might that be? Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Harebrain. Oh, nice! Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university. And I would like to read my correspondence in peace, so let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know? Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zyke's never minces his words, but they seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Right. Tell me what happened. Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zyke's? What happened? How much do you already know? We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street, and that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot. Then you're well informed, and there's really nothing I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself. But the gunshot? Obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you? I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers. So he doesn't actually know what happened. I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with? I don't need to answer that. Oh. After all, you're not representing me. He is going to need a lawyer, though. Yeah, what are you going to do about your defense? I don't think there's any lawyers that are going to want to defend you. Who's going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zyke's? Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet? Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But this is different. In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have... Oh, sorry. In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now. Surely not. I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole. But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you? It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bayley. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that. What does he mean by that? After the trial, Professor Harebrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought. It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper. Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean? Yes, so it seems. Your stupid little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day. Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Harebrain is safely back in Germany now. He is. And this man really isn't giving us much to work with. Yes! Go, Queen! Give us nothing! So, it appears our conversation has run dry. There was a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you. I was wondering, Lord Van Zykes, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you. You trust me, do you? Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people, so I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly. It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one. What? Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese. But, please. I have no intention of engaging your services. The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems. I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time. Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zykes and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Let's see, is there anywhere else we can go? Oh, the Lord Chief Justice's office would be a good idea. He seems to have resigned to his fate. Yeah, he really doesn't trust anyone. I wonder what his plan is then. If he already knows that nobody else would dare to represent him, what's he gonna do? What's his plan? You've made good time. I took an express train back to London. I can hear Lord Strongheart. Can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone. Oh, it's Kazuma! Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. It's Kazuma-sama. Ah, your timing is impeccable. It is? No doubt you have heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry. Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zykes could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson. I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zykes for this crime. Must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective. Oh no, surely not! It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes. So does that mean the trial is tomorrow? Precisely. Man, they don't fuck around, do they? They arrested that man today, and you're like, ooh, you're going on trial tomorrow, fucker. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions. Kazuma. Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution. Yup, I called it. I was right. Wait, what? Kazuma? As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law. Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor? Man, Kazuma just really doesn't want to talk to us right now, does he? What the fuck happened? What is he on about? I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. Wasn't Kazuma his apprentice? Yes, he was. Kazuma was Van Zykes' apprentice while he still had amnesia. So basically, Kazuma was supposedly murdered in the second case of the first game. His body was taken off the ship and dropped off at Hong Kong, while the ship went on the rest of the way to London. His body disappeared. Nobody knew what happened. Apparently, he stowed away on a container ship and smuggled his way into London. He had no documentation, no papers, and being unconscious for so long gave him amnesia. He approached he was found by, Lord Strongheart. He was found on the ship. He was brought before Lord Strongheart with no, no paperwork. No, documentation, you know? Yeah, that's the word. Identification, there you go. God, my brain is short-circuiting right now. I got enough sleep last night and I slept soundly, but goddamn, I am struggling right now. I really don't know why either. Let me see. So he shows up, no identification. He's got amnesia. Strongheart assigns him to Lord Van Zykes so that Strongheart can keep an eye on him. While maybe his memory returns. And now, Kazuma's got his memory back. That happened in the last case. We also found out that Kazuma's father is a notorious serial killer in London. In fact, no. People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds. There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bayley. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock. Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths. But Lord Van Zykes firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent. That's certainly true. Or it has been, at least, until now. Ah! No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history. Mayhaps it's Kazuma? No, I don't think Von Zykes knows who the Reaper is. He's been pursuing the Reaper. He's been trying to find out who the Reaper is. But he hasn't been successful just yet. And it couldn't be Kazuma because the Reaper killings started well before Kazuma came to London. So Kazuma will be prosecuting tomorrow. That's right. But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart. Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree? Absolutely. No doubt at all that Kazuma will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. But why Kazuma-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain. It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this? But why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation. I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact. Strongheart with his arms out like that, and the doves in the background give me strong flashbacks. Oh. Yeah, something about Strongheart don't sit right with me. The more these games have gone on, the more I'm like, something about Strongheart's... He's a little too ambitious. Seems like he'd do a little too much to, you know, accomplish his goals, you know? He doesn't know he knows? Oh, okay. I get what you mean. So it's someone connected to Van Zykes, but Van Zykes doesn't know which connected person it is. That's fair. You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. Ah, after all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks. So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution. Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed. After practicing law in this land for so many months. Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. The gun. We can ask him about the gun. Oh, yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zykes? That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene. Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct. It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine. In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim. No, Gregson had his gun on his person. What about Lord Van Zykes? He claims it's currently not in his possession. What? According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious. But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his. No, of course not. Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zykes. Huh. Kazuma, buddy, talk to me. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be all right now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything, including what I was coming here to do. Right. Kazuma-sama, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. Jen, hey, how's it going? Welcome on in. Oh, this is England. We're in London. I don't know that they get those anymore, but this is like the early 1900s. Things were probably different, maybe. Little less gun control back then. Honestly, not feeling yours. Oh, I'm sorry, Jen. I hope you feel better. I'm doing okay. I'm just a little drowsy, you know? I slept pretty well, but just woke up and it's like, man, I need like another 3 hours. Oh well, it's stream time. I gotta go. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia? Yeah, you have like you take like a nice relaxing day, Jen. Feel a little bit better. Yeah, those kinds of sleeps where you don't feel rested. Yeah, I know that feeling. God, I don't usually when that happens, I wake up with like my covers like thrown off of me. I must toss and turn a lot in my sleep. I got a weighted blanket to try and like help with that. I'm not sure if it helped at all. It may have even made it worse. Like maybe my body doesn't like being constricted and it like just reacts violently when it feels like something heavy on it while it's sleeping. Maybe? I don't know. I like the weighted blanket. It feels nice when I'm falling asleep, but maybe once I'm actually asleep, my body's like, oh, get this thing off of me! Suffocating me! I don't know. It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London. I'm so sorry for what's happened. Anyway, my memory might have returned to me, but there's something that won't return the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. Doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery. Yeah, if Lord Van Zykes doesn't let us represent him, we're just going to be in the public gallery. We're just going to be watching. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Before you go, Renosuke. Oh, what is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you. Kazuma-sama, what? You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection. We were always intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream. Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you. Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here. Oh! I actually have a favor to ask. Which is, this trial I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me. As the defense counsel. Why? What's this all about? I know you have what it takes. But Lord Van Zykes would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does. It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this. Oh my god, he's smiling! Look at that! Look at that man! He's got an actual smile on his face! I've never seen this man smile. Oh, and that must be his brother, right? That's Lord Van Zykes and Inspector Gregson. In a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third person? It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Wait, what? Okay. Take it. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Rinosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Kazuma? All right, we're going back to the prison. We're gonna get Van Zykes to let us represent him if we have to beat it into him. Lord Van Zykes is still reading that letter. We've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. Might even be able to read English faster than he can. I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese. Oh, sorry. I didn't think you'd hear that. I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time. Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow. Which is none of your business. So, have you found a lawyer? How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This is nothing to do with you. In other words, no. We're just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided. I'd expect nothing less, though I have no idea who it is. It's going to be Kazuma Asogi. Asogi? That made the color drain from his face. Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. I like how Van Zykes is scared of his own apprentice. Damn. Yes, we'll beat him up, Minx. Beat him up. Let me check the court record real quick. I want to see something. Okay, so that's just that. Oop. No, stop. Let me check the candles. Right, okay, so this is the candle that got shot, right? Ah, there's some black marks here, look. Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? Only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them. Assuming we can't... Well, can we investigate this any further? This is the type of revolver that's standard issue for members of the judiciary, then. Yes, and when asked about whether records are kept about who they're issued to, I was told that for the past 5 years, they've been engraved with a unique serial number. Oh, but as far as I can tell, there's nothing like that on this gun. Which tells us that it must have been issued longer ago than that. Ah, I see. Good information. Tell me about Asogi. Why are you so scared of him? "10 years ago, my brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name Asogi. Genshin Asogi was Kazuma-sama's father. So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court. I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset. But what could he have been hoping to achieve? And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Kazuma recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that? Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese. Right, your hatred of all us Japanese. I love how it's only now that Zykes is realizing the nonsense in these courtrooms when it's his fine ass on the line. I'd only just been appointed as a prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother, Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer, the so-called professor. Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard. And that was Genshin Asogi. Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong. Oh, how awful. To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented. What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor? The man in charge of the Professor case inquiry, Lord Strongheart. Wait, what? Lord Strongheart? He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I felt indebted. I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor. Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? Ah, and of all things, as a lawyer. I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese. I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred had festered inside me. I could no longer control it. And I can understand why, now I know the history. But in the same way that I have long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his, the reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Is he? Does he really is he really in this after revenge? I don't know, that doesn't sound like Kazuma. But Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. But he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy. Oh, yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean. It's the first time I've ever encountered it. Oh. The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place. Sounds like the mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at the Scotland Yard. Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made. What sort of approach? After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy. Oh my, 10 years ago? Why is that so surprising? Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. And my brother was, of course, a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. Something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful convictions somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death. So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. Also, would Asogi try to prosecute the man who was his mentor and basically caretaker while he had amnesia? I don't know. I feel like Asogi's not in this for revenge. I feel like he's in this to uncover a deeper truth. Something that runs deeper than just like petty revenge. Like, I feel like there's definitely some truth about that professor case that hasn't come to light yet. And I feel like Kazuma is after that. Maybe not avenge his father, but he wants to prove that his father was innocent, maybe? That could be it? Want a truth, he would have been like the defendant or something? Not necessarily. It could very well be that Kazuma, you know, doesn't trust anyone but himself to be able to, like, get to the bottom of things, you know? And with him trusting Ryunosuke as a defense lawyer, it only makes sense that he has a pawn on both sides of the board by playing prosecution. I don't have confidence in anyone. Oh. And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me only as the omniscient Reaper. I've no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London. What really went on between Lord Van Zykes and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? Alright, tell me about your gun, please. About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene. Ah, yes, that's not mine. Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is. What do you expect me to say to that? Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm. As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true. When did you lose it then? That I don't know. Oh, I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps. You have something in common with Lord Van Zykes after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things. No. This has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it. Don't make the mistake of associating me with this Nipponese. Oh dear. The rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decisive evidence, clearly. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure. Do I have anything else I can present to you? Oh, right, I'm supposed to present this. Lord Van Zykes, we came by this old photograph. Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost. Is the man on the left there? Yes, that's my brother, Clint. Had to be, really. Apparently this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that? Respect? That's nonsense. No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less. Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you. I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bayley. Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, the first time he's ever used my actual name. I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. There's still one thing I'm willing to believe in. What's that? That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth. But Lord Van Zykes. From the very first time we clashed in the Bayley almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese, who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. Wow. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genshin Asogi. The man he idolized, and the man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me. You mean this photograph? Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I look to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe. I'm so sorry. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me? Of course I will. It would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo. And my life is in your hands. God damn, we're actually representing Lord Van Zykes. For Lord Van Zykes, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask, which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend Kazuma. Damn. There it is. To be continued. Ooh. Now this is going to be a real interesting trial. So we're defending Lord Van Zykes. We're up against Kazuma. This is going to be fun. I'm excited to see Kazuma as a prosecutor. I bet he has a lot of like fun animations too. I mean, he does have like swords. So that probably helps. He's going to have a lot of like fun animations to sort of like make up for the fact that we don't have any chalice smashing or bottle throwing or leg slamming. I wonder if Kazuma learned how to do the leg slam from Lord Van Zykes. Do you think he knows how to do the leg slam? I hope he does. Anyhow, thank you all so much for joining me as usual. Let's find a little somebody to raid, shall we? Who is up and about? Who's doing stuff? Barry the Bugbear is pretty cool, and he's doing a subathon. That's right, he quit his job. He's gonna do, I think he said he's doing more freelance stuff. He's doing more streaming, more content creation. He's gonna work for himself rather than, work for the man now. So, I'm all in favor of rating that guy. He's very cool. He's very fun. I can't make his streams as much as I'd like to. Our schedules don't really line up as nicely as I'd like them to. But, yeah, Barry's very cool. Heavy metal bugbear man. Okay, so I gotta raid Barry the Bugbear. I hope I spelled that right. Yep, there we go. All right, so be sure to tell Barry that this is a rogue raid. If you don't have a sub, you can use channel points to unlock the emote, or you can just use any standard Twitch emote. Really, it's all good. As for this week, let's see what's coming up this week. Tomorrow I'm probably playing more Legends Arceus. Very excited to get back into that. Played a little bit off stream, but not much, not a whole lot. I'm at the point where I can do my first my first promotion, so I'm gonna do that live on stream. Let's see, what else? What else is coming up? More Ace Attorney, most likely. Possibly some more Outer Worlds. I'll see if maybe I can find some time to get a third stream in there somewhere. Because right now it's Monday and Sunday are my 2 days, and Raid eats up like so much time that I just can't find time to, stream any other days. But hopefully that won't be too much longer. A couple more weeks to clear the last fight of that Raid tier, and then we can maybe cut down our days to maybe 2 to just do re-clears. Anyway, take care, y'all, and I will see you next time. Peace.